Welcome back to Wrestling Renaissance. This is a run-in. My name is TJ Leo. Oh God. The infection of the internet issues has migrated from Andrew on Press Pause to Cole Two Belts on Wrestling Renaissance. Yes, we are back. We are back, and today, fittingly, with the Money in the Bank 2025 coming up this weekend. Can't believe it's already coming this weekend. It's so freaking crazy. We are going to rank every Money in the Bank winner in history. And you would think that there was a lot of winners. You know, you would think that there's like 80 winners at this point. There really is only 33, which shocked me. I was like, holy crap, really? 33 Money in the Bank matches. Actually, that's a lot of matches. Some repeats. Yeah, some people have won it more than once. That's definitely true. And we are going to go over each winner from each match. We're not just going to say, like, if they've won more than once, we're going to go over them more than once. We're going to talk about them more than once, which I think there's only one, really, that's won the match twice. I could be wrong, though. I guess we'll find out. So let's kick things off all the way back 20 years ago. God, I feel old. In 2005. I am very old. Which makes you ancient, I think. I think that's the levels.
Oh, we're not talking about me. We're talking about you.
Fair. All right, in 2005, kayfabe. The concept for the Money in the Bank match was introduced in March 2005 by Chris Jericho, who pitched it to then Raw GM Eric Bischoff, who liked it and promptly booked the match for WrestleMania 21. Edge won the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match and held the contract until New Year's Revolution in January 2006, where he cashed in against John Cena, who had just defended the WWE Championship in the Elimination Chamber. And after it was over, the chamber was raising, and Vince McMahon, he who shall not be named, maybe at some point, came out,
maybe,
and said, "The show is not over. Don't leave. Get back in your seats. The show is not over. Raise the cage." And he went on to say that this man is cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. We got Edge versus John Cena, and Edge defeated Cena to become WWE Champion for the first time. And that's history, ladies and gentlemen. First ever Money in the Bank winner. First ever to cash it in successfully. I mean, I don't think you can get much more iconic than the original, right?
I mean, there's been some cash-ins that have been as iconic.
Yeah, that's true.
You could say.
But he held it for so long.
But overall, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, this has to be a GOAT right off the hop, right?
Yeah, I mean, think so. I think it would have to be a GOAT.
I mean, he walked around, sort of revolutionized his image using this briefcase. And the funny story is that if you watch some of like the documentaries and stuff, he didn't even want to be in the match. He's like, no, I want to get the title, legitimately my first time. I don't want to get this stupid briefcase and cash it in and cheaply win the first time. And then he was like, wait a minute. I'd be the first ever Money in the Bank cash in if I do this. And then he took full advantage of it. Didn't necessarily have a great championship run when he won the title because the booking was stupid and they took it off him. I think his first defense he lost, if I recall correctly. Cena got it back like 1 month later.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure because I remember him being really frustrated by that because in the span of like 4 weeks he did that like live sex celebration thing, and then he was like on fire. People were watching Raw like
Oh, that was
crazy
right after.
at that time.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
after Mania 20, or right before Mania 22. It was like, was that a few months before that was when he did the cash in. So, yeah, let's move good old Edge into the GOAT category
go and go.
right off the hop. All right, next up, 2006. The Money in the Bank idea was revived by Carlito on a February 2006 episode of Raw. Vince McMahon approved the suggestion and set up qualifying matches for the match that would take place at WrestleMania 22. I'm reading this verbatim on Wikipedia, by the way. Thank you, Wikipedia. It was later announced that the match was to be interpromotional, and SmackDown General Manager Theodore Long also set up qualifying matches to select 3 members of his roster to compete. In the Raw brand qualifying matches, holla holla. What was that song he used to do? Something with your pants on the ground?
I don't think he did pants on the ground.
He did it all the time. He did like the dance. Something with your pants on the ground. I don't know.
Yeah. He did the dance, but...
Yeah. So in the Raw brand qualifying matches, RVD defeated Trevor Murdoch, Shelton Benjamin defeated Chavo Guerrero, and Ric Flair defeated Carlito. And on SmackDown, Finlay defeated Bobby Lashley. That's interesting. Matt Hardy defeated Animal, and Bobby Lashley won a last chance battle royal to get into the match. As we all know, Rob Van Dam won the WrestleMania 22 Money in the Bank ladder match after pushing Shelton Benjamin and Matt Hardy off of a ladder, while he was on another ladder and retrieved the briefcase. That April, he defended the contract and won the Intercontinental Championship in a contract versus title winner take all against Benjamin at Backlash. I don't remember that at all. That's interesting. Then RVD announced in May 2000. Yeah. Then RVD announced in May 2006 that he would cash in his contract at ECW One Night Stand 2 against John Cena in an Extreme Rules match, which the match ended with Cena losing with interference from Edge after Van Dam performed a 5-star frog splash, and Paul Heyman counted the 1, 2, 3. As such, Van Dam is the first person to give prior notice to an opponent rather than just cashing it in randomly.
Paul Heyman counted the 3.
Yes, he did. Did I say someone else? I said Paul Heyman. Maybe I said someone else. Okay. This one's tough because
when I was not able to hear you.
Oh, it's cutting in and out. That's great.
Yeah.
RVD is a tough one for me. So his match with Cena was okay. It was memorable because of only 2 things: RVD winning, and Cena's having his head booed off and his shirt thrown back into the ring, all that kind of stuff. So it really had nothing to do with RVD. Sorry to say. I know a lot of people like him.
Right.
He really didn't. I don't know. I've never personally been a huge RVD fan. I think he's fine. I think he's a little overrated in the IWC, personally. Very weird style of wrestling.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah. Not a big fan. And then, he wins the title, and then a week later he gets pulled over for driving high. And they take the title away from him a couple weeks later. It's just
yeah, he got suspended. And Sabu got fired.
Yep. It's just one of those swings where it's dude, you had the world in your hand, and you fucked it up. you know? But we're not discussing the championship runs that they had. We're discussing, them being Mr. Money in the Bank, and then how they cashed it in, and if they won, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where to rank this one, honestly. I'd
still say it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's. Yeah, I'd say good. I think that's a good place for it, actually. I wouldn't put it lower, but I don't think I can put it higher than that. It's right smack dab in the middle there. That's good. All right, RVD. In the middle you go. All right, let's move on to 2007. The third Money in the Bank ladder match was held at WrestleMania 23 and was the first to involve 8 participants from Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. Qualifying matches began on February 19th on Raw. 2 former Money in the Bank winners, Edge and RVD, faced off, with Edge earning a pinfall win to earn the first spot in the match. I'm not going to go through all this. This is like really detailed stuff. Let me just see if I can find who was in the match. So in the match was Edge, CM Punk, King Booker. Every time I have to say it that way every time. You can't call him King Booker. That's just, it doesn't work that way.
Booker.
King Booker. Jeff Hardy, Mr. Kennedy, Matt Hardy, Finlay, and Ric Flair. No. Randy Orton. Yeah. So in the match, ultimately, Mr. Kennedy won the match after ramming Punk off the ladder using another ladder Edge had taken her out earlier by Jeff Hardy. During the next few weeks, Mr. Kennedy kept declaring that he would cash in the briefcase at WrestleMania 24. However, on May 7th, 2007, he defended and lost the Money in the Bank briefcase to Edge. Kennedy was the first wrestler in WWE history to lose the briefcase without cashing it in. The following night at the taping on May 11th, SmackDown, Undertaker and Batista fought to a draw in a steel cage, after which a returning Mark Henry assaulted The Undertaker and left him injured in the ring. And as Henry was leaving, Edge came to the ring with his briefcase, handed it to the referee, and defeated Undertaker after one spear to win the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time. Thus, Edge became the first person to gain the contract twice, with an asterisk, I would say.
Because he didn't win the match.
Because he didn't win the match, exactly. So we're looking at Mr. Kennedy specifically here, and unfortunately, I think we have to have our first trasher. Unfortunately, he didn't have it very long. And he stupidly put it up against Edge. Obviously, that was kayfabe. He was forced to do that. No?
I mean, what are the circumstances? Was he really injured?
No. So...
this is when...
he talked about this on Chris Van Vliet's show recently. So... He was told he was injured. Yeah. He was told he was injured. But then he went and got like a second opinion or something like that, and they were like, "No, you're fine, bro." And they had already taken the contract from him at that time.
Yeah. So I can't really put that on him as trash.
I mean, is this against the guy, or is this against the booking? Or both? I think it's both. It's got to be a little bit of both, right?
Are you going to hold the booking against him and say it was trash, or are we judging on just the booking?
I mean, I guess he was fine with the briefcase, but the booking of him, like, putting it on the line for no freaking reason, like he wasn't going to gain anything if he won the match against Edge. Like, it was terrible booking. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Oh, you don't think I can beat you? Well, I'll put this Money in the Bank briefcase on the line." And Edge just smiled, and then they fought, and Edge whooped his ass, and that was it. And I was like, "Why did you put it on the line?" They could have come up with so many other reasons that he lost the briefcase, but instead he puts it on the line for literally no reason, like an idiot. I can't go above bad. It's got to be bad, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go above bad either.
Okay. So bad it is? Okay.
Yeah, I say bad because I'm pretty sure we're going to have another trash.
Oh,
For sure.
interesting. All right. All right, we're moving on to 2008, where the fourth Money in the Bank ladder match took place at WrestleMania 24 and was intended to be another 8-man match consisting of wrestlers from Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. Contenders in the match. I'm just going to read this because there's no real just straight up list of the contestants that go through this whole rigmarole in the
I got it.
In the spiel. Oh, you got the contestants. All right, who's the contestants?
Yeah, John Morrison, Mr. Kennedy, MVP, Carlito, Chris Jericho, Shelton Benjamin, and CM Punk.
Alrighty. This was also the infamous match where the TNA plane was up in the air above WrestleMania, advertising TNA. You could literally hear it in the background if you go watch it. You can hear the plane for the first half of the match. It's so funny. And every time the plane comes into view, the camera switches almost immediately. It's so funny. All right. So CM Punk won the match after trapping Jericho's leg in a ladder and then climbing the ladder. Punk cashed in his title shot on June 30th on Raw. A farewell speech by Jim Ross was interrupted by Edge, who had him removed from the ring and then began to insult the crowd, saying they would never get to see a world championship being defended on Raw. As at that time, both Edge and so Edge was World Heavyweight Champion and Triple H was WWE Champion, and they were both on SmackDown because of the draft and how all that crappy shit was happening, and him being it was a whole fucking rigmarole basically. And the ECW championship on the ECW brand was Mark Henry, I think, at the time. Oh, ECW.
Oh, that was a good time, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was something. I don't know what it was, but it existed. So when Edge was about to leave the arena later on in the night, Batista came out and assaulted Edge in retaliation for Edge cheating to win their title match the previous night at Night of Champions. And then Punk ran to the ring with a referee to cash in his contract, performed to go to sleep on Edge, and won the World Heavyweight Championship, bringing the World Heavyweight Championship back to Raw in the process. So Punk's first few runs as champion are kind of forgotten, and I think there's some valid reasons for that. They weren't super great because he was portrayed as a good guy back then, and he really hadn't been given the opportunity to play a heel and blossom his character. Yeah. So, that being said, though, that's just his title reign. Him winning the belt on Raw from Edge was pretty cool. I don't think he held it very long, though. It was only a couple of months. Yeah, June 30th, yeah. Yeah. I'd put it in meh.
Meh? I can go with meh.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can go with meh.
Yeah. Meh it is. All right. 2009. The fifth annual Money in the Bank match was announced for WrestleMania 25. Qualifying matches began on February 23rd on Raw. Who were their contestants in the match, sir?
Shelton, again. MVP, again.
Yeah.
The aforementioned Mark Henry with Tony Atlas. Kofi
He's
Kingston.
A character.
Kane. Finley. Christian. And Chick Magnet Punk.
Chick Magnet. Yeah. Quite a cast. WrestleMania 25 is so forgettable. Man. So, yeah, at WrestleMania 25, Punk won the match and became the first wrestler to win 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, and the only one to win the match 2 consecutive years. On the May 1st episode of SmackDown, Punk challenged the World Heavyweight Championship Edge for a non-title match with the intent that if he defeated Edge, he would cash in his title shot right after the match. Later that night, Punk defeated Edge and attempted to cash in. However, before the ringside bell could ring to start the match, Punk and Edge were both attacked by Umaga. Or as William Regal said, Umanga.
Umanga.
I love that. And Jeff Hardy. As a consequence, the match never started and Punk retained his contract. Punk again tried to cash it in against Edge on May 15th on SmackDown, and it was again stopped by Umanga. After Jeff Hardy defeated Edge in a ladder match to win the World Heavyweight Championship at Extreme Rules, Punk cashed in to win the World Heavyweight Championship for the second time. As a result of the fans booing him for cashing in on Hardy, who was very popular with fans, Punk began a gradual change of character into a villain for the first time, which is really where his character started to take shape.
Yep. I like this one.
I do like this one better than his first. Cashing in on Hardy was brutal. I actually forgot that it happened, and on my so remember I was going through like all of like the Ruthless Aggression pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I got to the Extreme Rules, and I was like, oh yeah, Jeff Hardy won this. Holy shit, that's me. Oh, here comes Punk. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Damn.
Not like it for good or great.
Yeah, I'd put it one above RVD.
Okay.
I think that's a good spot to put it. All right. 2010. On the February 22nd episode of Raw, it was announced that the 6th Money in the Bank match would take place at WrestleMania 26. Who was in the match, sir?
Shelton Benjamin again. MVP again. Matt Hardy. Kofi Kingston again. Kane again. Evan Bourne. Drew McIntyre. Dolph Ziggler. Christian.
Drew McIntyre. Wow.
And Jack Swagger.
Jack Swagger. And as we all know, Jack Swagger won the match after knocking Christian off of a ladder with the briefcase itself. However, he took a long time to get that briefcase down. I remember they had to edit that out of the replay because he took about 20, 30 seconds, somewhere in that neighborhood. He was like, I can't get the damn thing off the hook.
He was trying to milk it for all it was worth.
Oh, yeah.
He knew that he probably shouldn't have won it.
Yeah. Can you say that list again? I can't. I want to see if there was someone better at that time. Okay. No.
MVP.
No.
Matt Harvey.
Matt Harvey. No.
Kofi Kingston.
No.
Kane.
That was it?
Evan Bourne.
No.
Drew.
No.
Dolph.
No.
Christian.
Oh, was this when Christian was like really popular and people were getting pissed off that he wasn't winning?
Could be.
Yeah, if that's when it was, I can see Christian winning it or Drew. I'm actually kind of surprised that Drew, the chosen one, didn't win it.
The chosen one with broken dreams, right?
Yeah, one of the best themes ever.
You mean overrated?
No.
Yes, yes, you do.
All right. So the following night on Raw, Swagger attempted to cash in his shot against the WWE champion John Cena after ambushing him. However, Cena recovered too quickly from the ambush. Swagger canceled his match and retained his contract. And then the next night at the taping for SmackDown, after Edge attacked Chris Jericho, Swagger cashed in his contract and successfully claimed the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I specifically remember this for one reason and one reason only. And you can, it's so weird because his entire demeanor, his entire character shifted. Swagger's.
Yeah.
Because he was always this like monkey man who's doing that like weird chest pump thing and going like,
oh yeah,
doing all that stuff. And then the second he pinned Jericho, he just gets up and he's just like, "That's right, bitch. I'm a fucking champion." And just this stoic. I was like, "Oh, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. That's how you cash in. You just you look in that camera and you look at all the doubters and you go, mm-hmm. Now what do you think?" I liked that shift. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off.
Well, because they had to give him a mic and he had to talk.
Yeah,
and that didn't work out so well.
I think he's a little underrated. Personally, I kind of liked him. I just don't think they ever gave him. I don't think they ever really gave him the ball. That was a tough era, though. That was a tough era for people, for whatever reason.
I suppose.
I liked his finisher, the that like drag power bomb move he did.
Yeah,
it was like a gutbuster power bomb kind of thing. I liked it.
Yeah, I'd still say meh at best.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to put it at the bottom of good.
Better than Punk? Yeah.
That first Punk cash-in was kind of weak. All right, top of man then?
Yeah, top of man, I guess.
The compromise is real?
Yep.
All right. All right, let's see who we got here. In February 2010, WWE announced that Money in the Bank would be the title of their July pay-per-view. So therefore, Money in the Bank was no longer at WrestleMania. It had its own pay-per-view. And the event included 2 Money in the Bank matches, one for Raw, one for SmackDown.
2011, correct?
No, 2010.
You sure?
Yep, because it says in February 2010.
You're right.
Yeah, July 18th, 2010. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's start with the Raw. I think it's the Raw one.
So would that have been the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship?
World. Let's go with World.
World. Matt Hardy again. Kofi Kingston again.
Again. Oh God.
Drew McIntyre again. Dolph Ziggler again.
Wow.
Christian again. Cody Rhodes. Big Show. And Kane again.
Wow. Lots of repeats there. It was a great match, though. It was a great match. This is the infamous one where Kofi jumped off the ladder and like did like a leg drop, but he like came down at an angle onto somebody. Yeah. Smashed him through the announcer's table. It was really cool. So Kane won the SmackDown. So this was SmackDown, apparently. Money in the Bank ladder match. He then later cashed in on the same night by defeating Rey Mysterio to win the World Heavyweight Championship. He became the quickest man to cash in the briefcase. So yeah, Rey Mysterio defended the championship against
Jack Swagger.
Was he defending it against Jack, or did he beat Jack for it? I can't remember now.
Defeated. Jack. Or he was champion.
Ray was champion. And defended, Jack had Jack had like wrecked his ankle the whole match, basically. So after the match, he was pretty weak. And then somebody came out. I think Jack just continued to beat on him. And then Kane came out and saved Ray, and followed Jack to the back. And everyone was like, "Yay, Kane!" And then he immediately turned around and came out and cashed it in. That was really cool. That was a really good cash in. And he had a really, really great championship run too. I know we're not counting that, but he did have a really cool run as World Heavyweight Champion. Probably maybe the prime of his career, I think, was when he was World Heavyweight Champion.
Probably.
So where do we put Kane winning? Kane is a Money in the Bank man.
I'd say very short.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, the way he cashed it in, he went out to chase off Swagger.
Yeah, that was a funny red herring.
And then cashed in.
Psych! I'm
Yep.
coming back.
Yeah.
He's like, get out of here! I got to cash in the briefcase. Yeah, I agree with you. Our first great. All right, and then over on Raw, what was the WWE Championship crew?
You had Ted DiBiase.
Oh wow! Okay.
Randy Orton.
Ooh.
Mark Henry again.
Okay.
John Morrison again. Evan Bourne again. Again.
Evan Bourne again.
Edge again. Chris Jericho again. And The Miz.
And as we all know, The Miz won. After a couple of aborted attempts, which, due to the bell not sounding to start the matches, allowed Miz to keep the briefcase on each occasion, The Miz finally cashed in his title on Raw immediately after Randy Orton successfully retained the WWE Championship against Wade Barrett, in which the Nexus attacked Orton before the match and injured his right leg. The Miz became WWE Champion. That was very memorable because that was the infamous night of the Miz Girl.
Yes, it was.
Remember the Miz Girl?
Yeah.
They shot the crowd and there's just... She was so upset. She was so upset. I loved it. Yeah, it was great. And he carried that that briefcase around for about 4 or 5 months, I think.
Yeah.
It was in July, and then he cashed it in November. I liked it. I thought it was funny. Well done. And his reaction when he won it, where he was like slapping the mat, like, I did it. I showed them.
Yep.
I liked it. Yeah, I really liked it. I wouldn't say it's a GOAT. Maybe is it amazing? It's great or amazing, I think.
Go great.
Go great? Is it better or worse than Kane's?
Worse.
All right.
I like Kane's because it was the same night, like that. It was kind of iconic. The same night.
That's fair. First time that was ever done too.
Yeah.
All right, 2011. Let's start with. It doesn't tell me. I think.
Well, if you want to say Raw or SmackDown, I know which one.
Okay, Raw. Oh wait. No, SmackDown. SmackDown.
So SmackDown World Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus.
Ooh.
Though I did just see clips from a Chris Van Vliet interview with Santino Marella. So
amazing.
Sheamus. Sin Cara. Kane.
Who? Oh, Kane. Okay.
Justin Gabriel. That's probably how he would say
it. Justin Gabriel.
Heath Slater.
Slate.
Or probably Heath Slater, maybe.
Heath Slater. Yeah.
Kobe Rhodes.
You did a Kobe Rhodes.
Wade Barrett. And Danielle Bryan.
Danielle Bryan. Oh, shit. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, man. Okay. Yes, and Daniel Bryan won. And on July 22nd on SmackDown, Bryan announced that he was going to cash in his contract at WrestleMania 28. Wow, we're at 28 already? Holy schmoogles. Is that right? Yeah, 28. Wow.
Yeah.
In April. On November 25th on SmackDown, Bryan cashed in on Mark Henry, who had been knocked out by Big Show, and Bryan got the pinfall victory and was awarded the championship. However, SmackDown General Manager Theodore Long overruled the match due to Henry not being medically cleared to compete. The first time a Money in the Bank cash-in match was reversed. Since the match never officially took place, Bryan was given the briefcase back and again reiterated that he planned on cashing it in at WrestleMania. Although he was given a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship against Mark Henry in a steel cage match on a live holiday-themed episode of SmackDown the following Tuesday, which Bryan lost. On December 18th at TLC that year, after Big Show defeated Mark Henry to win the World Heavyweight Championship, Henry attacked Big Show with a steel chair, allowing Bryan to cash in his briefcase on Big Show to win his first World Heavyweight Championship. Whew, that was a lot.
It was a lot. A lot of meh.
Yeah. I liked his character at the time, but for whatever reason, it's so forgettable. Once I remember it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was really entertaining. But for whatever reason, it's not like memorable. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't remember all this stuff.
No. It was a big blur. Yeah. I do remember him winning it, but I don't really remember like the day-to-day stuff. So top of meh? Because I know it was entertaining. It just wasn't memorable.
Yeah, top of meh.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What was the SmackDown? Oh, sorry. What was the Raw match?
The Raw. Oh, man. The Miz.
Okay.
Kofi Kingston.
Kingston.
Jackie Swagger.
Please don't do this the whole show.
Evan Bourne.
Again.
Alex Riley. Again.
Alex Riley. Wow, there's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Rey Mysterio. And Alberto Del Rio.
Ugh, that name. So at the end, your winner, Alberto Del Rio. Excuse me. And at the end of the night of Money in the Bank, after CM Punk won the championship from John Cena, Mr. McMahon ordered Del Rio to come in and attempt to cash in his briefcase against Punk, who had threatened to leave the company after the pay-per-view as his contract was expiring. Del Rio came out to do so, but Punk attacked him and fled through the crowd. A similar cash-in attempt was performed on then-champion Rey Mysterio on July 25th on Raw, but Del Rio was again unable to cash in the briefcase. Del Rio was able to cash in his briefcase and defeated Punk for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam in August, which I believe was after Kevin Nash came out of nowhere and jackknife powerbombed him after Punk's match with Cena. Or Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena. Santino, yes. We love you. I mean, this has to go in bad, right?
Yeah.
Or trash.
Yeah. Put it in bad.
Like, yeah. Is it worse than Kennedy?
No.
I mean, at least Kennedy, or at least Del Rio won.
Yeah.
You know. All right. 2012.
Oh, here we go.
As usual, there were 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. However, the matches were no longer separated by brands, as both Raw and SmackDown by this time had become full roster super shows. Instead, they were separated by championships, WWE and World Heavyweight. So let's go with the World Heavyweight Championship match.
World Heavyweight. Tyson Kidd.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, why not?
Tensai.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Sin Cara.
Oh.
Damian Sandow.
All right, I like him. Whatever happened to him? I think he went to NWA, right?
Yeah, NWA. Aaron Stevens is his name.
Aaron Stevens, yeah. I can't believe he never made a comeback. It's crazy.
Kobe Rhodes. Again.
Mm-hmm.
Christian. Santino Marella.
Hey! Santino Marella!
And Dolph Ziggler.
And of course, Dolph Ziggler won the briefcase for the World Heavyweight Championship. He attempted to cash it in that same night against Sheamus, but was attacked before the referee could call for the bell, so he retained his contract. And then on the August 20th episode of Raw, Ziggler successfully defended his briefcase against Chris Jericho in a career versus contract match. As a result, Jericho was forced to leave WWE. That's that infamous shot of him being like dragged out by security, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. On December 3rd episode of Raw, Vicky Guerrero was forced by Mr. McMahon to make John Cena and Ziggler's match at TLC a ladder match for Ziggler's Money in the Bank contract. On December 16th, at that event, he successfully defended the briefcase with help from AJ Lee. And on April 8th, on Raw, Ziggler cashed in his contract on Alberto Del Rio, following Del Rio's handicap match win over Jack Swagger and Seb Coulter. Ziggler defeated Del Rio to win his second World Heavyweight Championship following nearly 9 months of holding the briefcase. GOAT, right?
Yeah, either GOAT or amazing, for sure.
Yeah, I would put this ahead of Edge. I remember watching it live and just being just like blown away, and Ziggler's reaction was just
that pop,
perfection. Just that pop, and he's just like, yeah. Oh my god! And it went along with the music and everything. Like he was just, you would think that was like he was a made man at that point,
but no.
But no, he wasn't. For whatever reason, they just never were able to like capitalize on him. It's so weird. He should have been the next Shawn Michaels. That man. He should have been. But they stuck him with that stupid name and just made his gimmick so just it just never clicked. I don't know. Very frustrating, but yeah, I would say it was maybe as of now the best cash in of all time thus far.
Yeah,
I would say. And then in the WWE Championship match, who was our contestants?
You had Demise.
Who?
The Miz.
Oh, Demise.
Kane again.
Okay.
Chris Jericho.
Okay.
The Big Show. Or The Big Show. And John Cena.
And John Cena. And this was the silly one where John Cena won because he was hitting the briefcase off of Big Show's face. Big Show's
head, yeah.
Yeah, and then the handle broke and came off in his hand, and he's like, "Oh shit, I won!" To beat. It was so weird. And it was a special stipulation match where only former WWE championships were in the Money in the Bank match.
Yep, and this was the main event of that night.
Yeah. On July 16th, episode of Raw, Cena announced that he would cash in his contract in the following week at Raw 1000. He became only the second wrestler after RVD to give prior notice to the opponent. And at Raw 1000, Cena failed to win the WWE title when Big Show interfered in the match, causing champion CM Punk to be disqualified and retain the title, as championships cannot change hands via DQ unless otherwise stipulated. This made John Cena, the first Money in the Bank winner to fail to cash in. No offense to John Cena, but this was dumb. I hated this.
I mean, we can't rate it high because he failed, right?
Yeah. I didn't like it. I thought the way he won was stupid. I thought the whole match was kind of just dumb. It was like you put like Kane and Big Show in a match, and then The Miz and Chris Jericho, and then John Cena.
Yeah.
And like, why only 5 people? First of all. And then second of all, that's how you have John Cena win, is by accident. And then he fails to cash it in.
Yeah.
I thought it was such a waste of a briefcase.
Yeah,
You know,
Cena doesn't need a briefcase.
no, he didn't need one. Nobody wants to see a former champion win the briefcase. They all want to see someone new win the briefcase because they want that excitement of a cash in with somebody new. And Cena winning it and then failing to, it was just like, oh, okay, so that match was just pointless. Cool.
So I put this one in trash.
Yay, we agree.
All right.
Yeah. I was gonna say at the very top, I would put it at the bottom of bad, but I think it's trash. Right. That's what I was gonna say. All right. 2013 Money in the Bank. As always, there was 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, one for each championship. Let's start with, I believe, the World Heavyweight Championship.
You had Wade Barrett again.
He's going to continue it all episode.
I don't know if that's how he says it, but Jack Swinger.
Jack Swinger. Okay. Still kicking.
Fandango.
Sure.
Dean Amboss.
We're getting into the Shield days. Okay.
Kobe Rhodes again.
I can't believe Cody was still around. Man, that's crazy.
I know. And Anthony Caesar. And
who?
Anthony Caesar.
Oh, Cesaro?
Yeah, Antonio Cesaro. And Damon Sandow.
Damien Sandow. So this was the SmackDown one. Okay. So the winner was, surprisingly, Damien Sandow.
Yes.
And on the 28th of October episode of Raw, Sandow cashed in his contract on John Cena. But John Cena defeated Sandow, making Sandow the second wrestler to unsuccessfully cash in the contract and the first to lose a cash-in match via pinfall. At TLC that year, the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships were unified. Sandow deserved so much better.
Yeah. I mean,
I did think it was...
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I did think it was too early for Sandow to win it, but losing to Cena is just like a death knell for your career. Like, it just sucked.
Yeah, for a lot of people it was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because of Cena. It's because they put them against Cena. Wrong.
Yeah. It was badly booked.
Yeah. It's like people when they built up opponents for Hogan. Once you lose to Hogan, there's really nothing else you can do. Where do
you go? Yeah. You kind of have to wait until he doesn't have the title before you have a shot again, really.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, he didn't win it, so can't go any higher than Del Rio. So he's got to go. I guess I would put him above Kennedy just because Kennedy lost it in a stupid way. Although Sandow lost that match really fast. I remember being so frustrated by it.
Yeah, it was just
I don't know,
random episode of Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
above Kennedy or below Kennedy. I think it's 6-1, half dozen the other.
Below.
All right, and then we have the Raw match, which was who?
Sheamus.
Jesus.
Daniel Bryan. Rob Van Dam.
Okay.
CM Punk. And Christian. And Randy Orton.
Right. And Kane was also in the match, but he was actually removed after being injured due to an attack by the Wyatts on Raw. But Orton went on to win the contract. Orton cashed in his contract on WWE champion Daniel Bryan, who had defeated John Cena to win the championship.
So you're doing
Orton
it
defeated, now. Yeah, no. Well, it's just with Cena. It's just so much more fun to say John Cena. Orton defeated Bryan to win his 7th WWE Championship after WWE COO Triple H, who was the special guest referee between Bryan and Shayna, attacked Bryan with a pedigree following 5 weeks of holding the briefcase. So not a long briefcase hold, but a very memorable moment. I should say. This was sort of during the rumblings of the Daniel Bryan movement. And when he won the title, everyone was going freaking bananas. And then Orton came out threatening to cash in, but seemed to back off. And then Triple H pedigreed. Yeah, then the crowd went absolutely batshit crazy.
Yes, they did.
For that. They were like, "What the fuck?"
Yep.
Which it's so weird in hindsight to look at that and not go, "Oh, of course that's what's going to happen." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But back then it was shocking for some reason. Nobody saw it coming. It was weird. But yeah, that was a great cash in.
It was.
Does that mean it goes in great? I literally just said it was great without even thinking about it.
I think it at least goes in great, maybe amazing.
Is it our first amazing? I think it might be our first amazing.
I think it might be.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with that.
All right.
It's a lonely category. We'll put Orton in there. All right, 2014. The original plan for the event was that the winner of the ladder match would receive a contract for a match for the now unified title as normal, but on June 9th, defending World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan was forced to vacate the title due to his neck injury, and the already announced ladder match consisting of John Cena, Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio, Bray Wyatt, Cesaro, Sheamus, Kane, and Roman Reigns became for the vacant championship instead. So there was no Money in the Bank match in 2014.
Yes, there was.
There was?
Yes, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, wait.
No, because they were unified at the time. Oh, wait. So on June 17th... Oh, okay. So, wow, they announced this on Main Event. Wow, I did not know this. So that was that, right? And then on June 17th, on Main Event, the show called Main Event. Do you remember that show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was basically like Velocity of the time, Sunday Night Heat of the time. Seth Rollins announced that in addition to the ladder match for the title, there would be a traditional Money in the Bank ladder match for a World Heavyweight Championship contract. And that Rollins would be the first entrant, and the other entrants were Bad News Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, RVD, Jack Swagger, Kofi Kingston, and Dean Ambrose. The latter, who had threatened to disrupt the match, was added to the match on Rollins' request, and Bad News Barrett was later removed from the match due to an injury. I can't remember what Bad News Barrett's injury was. I know he was injured in a match. Oh, it was when he either like broke his arm or like dislocated his shoulder or something. I don't remember. I remember seeing it though. He like went over the top rope and somebody went over the top rope and he went to catch them because they like fell wrong or something like that, and he like dislocated his shoulder or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. So in that match, Rollins won, and the contract after Kane interfered on behalf of the Authority and knocked Dean Ambrose off the ladder. Oh my God, these were the dark days of the Authority. Oh my God, with Kane and Big Show being the oh God, that was such a pit of despair era.
Wow.
It was so bad. That must have been the year when they had. Or the following Royal Rumble, I think, was when they had the Big Show and Kane and Roman Reigns at the end. I think that was that year where the crowd booed the shit out of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Rollins attempted to cash in the following night on new champion John Cena. I can see a theme here. John Cena seems to be cashed in on a lot. but Rollins was stopped from doing so by Dean Ambrose. Rollins once again failed to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, this time against Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions after attacking him with a curb stomp. This failed attempt to cash in came after Cena attacked Rollins before the bell could be rung, due to Rollins costing him the championship minutes earlier. And then, as we all know, at WrestleMania 31, Rollins cashed in his briefcase during the main event championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. By doing so, he turned the singles match between Lesnar and Reigns into a triple threat match. Rollins then proceeded to pin Reigns following a curb stomp and successfully captured the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. As a result, Rollins set various records. He became the first person to cash in a contract while a championship match was in progress. He became the first person to cash in his briefcase at WrestleMania, and he became the first to win the championship without pinning the champion during the cash-in. The heist of the century, they called it.
It was the heist of the century.
The heist of the century. I mean, this has to be a GOAT, right?
Yeah, this was probably
this was a huge deal.
As iconic as the other two that are up there.
Yeah. I would say it goes... Ooh, this is going to be tough. I think a lot of people would put this ahead of Ziggler as the number one because it was at WrestleMania and it was such a shock. But Ziggler's was real good, man.
I'd put it in the middle.
Yeah, okay. We're on the same page. All right. Still a GOAT, though. Still amazing. All right. 2015. We had one Money in the Bank match. And for some reason, it's giving me a list this time. So this was Ziggler, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston, Neville. Wow. Pac. That's the name. Pac. Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Kane. A lot of repeat names. They needed to
There's a lot of repeat names.
They needed to shake some shit up at this time, man. Holy crap! How many friggin' Money in the Bank matches are you gonna have with the same dudes? Brutal. But Sheamus won the match and received a World Heavyweight Championship contract match. At the 2015 Survivor Series, Sheamus cashed in his contract by defeating Reigns, who had just won the vacant championship after defeating Dean Ambrose in the tournament finals. Hate to say this, but I have zero recollection of this. Nothing. Zero. Not an image.
Wow.
Nothing. And I think we actually talked about it on one of our ranked episodes prior to this, I think. No, it wasn't. It was when we were doing Sporkle. And neither of us could remember Reigns or Sheamus cashing in against Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, oh, he did? Okay. Yeah, I don't remember this at all. So I think by that very nature, it has to be bad. Can't be trash because he successfully got it. But, I mean, thus far, this is the least memorable cash-in on the list so far. I can't. Where would you put it? I would put it right below Del Rio because I don't remember it at all.
Okay.
I have no.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying makes sense.
Like I have no. Do you have any recollection of it? Can you picture it in your mind?
No.
I have nothing. It's so weird.
I can picture him carrying around the briefcase.
Yeah.
But not the cash in.
But not the cash in. And I don't remember him doing anything with the briefcase. 2015 also has the shortest entry for a Wikipedia page for this. So it must not have been very very eventful.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, also later on that night, there was a ladder match for the heavyweight championship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which was Seth against Dean.
Huh.
So they still had two ladder matches.
Just one was not a Money in
Just
the
one
Bank.
was not a Money in the Bank.
Man, these were the dark days when there was only one title.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that being that long. It's crazy. Wow. So did they really hold? Did the champion really hold the two belts for that long? Because they didn't make one belt, right? They had the two belts on their shoulders.
No, I think they had one. Because remember they basically brought back one for Triple H, wasn't it?
Yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship, I think, got brought back. Yeah, the big Goldie, I think.
Yeah.
Man, what a time to be alive.
Right?
All right, 2016.
I think we might be entering that same time, that same kind of time right now.
Yeah, so it looks like there was only one. Yeah, so this was the last single Money in the Bank match. After this year, I think it went back to two per PLE. So this one had Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Alberto Del Rio, and Dean Ambrose.
2 new people this time. That's
Yeah,
it's all right.
It says originally slated to be a 7-man ladder match, the 7th slot was later removed. Huh. Wonder who the 7th was. Weird.
John Cena.
John Cena coming in there. So Dean Ambrose won the match and received his contract. After the conclusion of the main event later that night, he successfully cashed in on Seth Rollins, who had just won the title from Roman Reigns. Ambrose was the second wrestler to cash in his contract on the same night as winning it. The night was also notable due to it making the stable The Shield, the first group in WWE history to be world champions on the same night. So yeah, all 3 members were champion on the same night. Roman started, Seth won, and then Dean walked away at the end.
Yep.
Crazy. Never even crossed my mind when I watched that show that was like something that's a fact. That all 3 members were champion on the same night. Crazy. Not super memorable though, I will say. What do you think? What are you thinking on this one?
Let's see.
I'm thinking meh.
Yeah, definitely meh. I was just thinking where. Above Swagger.
Yeah.
I think.
We have a mental connection. That's exactly what I was thinking. Above Swagger. All right, 2017. So for the traditional ladder match, which had a contract for a match for SmackDown's WWE Championship, SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon announced AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, and Baron Corbin as the original 5 participants. However, Kevin Owens was later added after he convinced Shane to make him the 6th participant. And Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley had the opportunity to make it a 7-man match if he could defeat Jinder Mahal, but failed to do so. Why would they even bother with that? That's so weird. At the event, Baron Corbin won the match and received a WWE Championship match contract. On August 15th on SmackDown Live, John Cena had a non-title match against Jinder Mahal. As Cena was pinning Mahal, Corbin attacked him, causing a DQ. Corbin then cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on Mahal. But as soon as the bell rung, he attacked Cena, who was on the apron, allowing Mahal to quickly roll up Corbin for the win. This made Corbin the 3rd wrestler to unsuccessfully cash in his contract and the 2nd to lose a cash-in match. Oof. I think we have I feel like we have a...
I think we have a trash.
Oh, going that low.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Because why do you attack the one that's not champion?
I think he was champion.
No, Jinder was, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
He caused a DQ, so Jinder was still champion, but then he started the match and then attacked Cena.
He was
And
on the
then,
apron allowing Mahal to quickly. Yeah. Yeah. What an idiot.
yeah, what an idiot. No wonder
What
he
an
got
idiot.
no wonder he got canned last year, right?
Okay, so is it worse than John Cena?
Yeah.
Or yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty dumb. Bum, 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 bum. And then on the May 30th episode of SmackDown Live, another Money in the Bank ladder match was added to the event, and for the first time, it was a women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which included Charlotte, Becky, Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina. Was originally scheduled to compete in a fatal five-way on that night to determine the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship against Naomi at Money in the Bank. But before their match could begin, a brawl broke out between the five, and the match never occurred. Shane McMahon then scheduled the five to compete in the first ever Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, where the winner would receive a contract for the Women's Championship match on SmackDown. Carmella was the winner after James Ellsworth retrieved the briefcase and threw it down to her. I've gone on record as saying how stupid that is.
Yeah.
The first women's Money in the Bank match is won by a man. What a Vince thing to do.
Very Vince thing to do.
Fucking terrible. On the following episode of SmackDown Live, however, Daniel Bryan forced Carmella to relinquish the briefcase since Ellsworth retrieved it for her. And then on that same episode, Bryan also scheduled a Money in the Bank ladder match rematch for the June 27th episode with Ellsworth banned from ringside. That episode, Carmella, with some aid from the band, Ellsworth retrieved the briefcase herself and reclaimed the contract. So stupid. What a clusterfuck. I don't even like why. What dumb booking, you know? And then on April 10th episode of SmackDown Live, after holding the contract for 287 days, the longest time any wrestler held onto a Money in the Bank briefcase, Carmella cashed in and defeated Charlotte, who had just suffered from an attack from the Iconics, and won the SmackDown Women's Championship.
I still say it's
pretty
bad.
Yeah, pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. You know, you win it badly. You have to win it a second time, and then by the way, still with Ellsworth's help, by the way. And then cash it in on Charlotte after beat. I just for it being the first ever women's briefcase,
and it's James Ellsworth.
And it's James Ellsworth. No chin.
Okay, trash.
You talk me. I wasn't going to put it in trash, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, the more you talk about it, the more trash it gets.
The more trash.
So, if you don't want to put it in trash, then you stop talking.
Okay. I do agree. Maybe it should be in trash. You know what? For the principal and for the women out there, let's put it at the bottom of trash.
All right.
Fuck Vince.
Yeah, but you know what? There's people talking. Vince maybe not be as bad right now.
Might not be as bad?
Yeah, well, when you look at what's going on in the company now.
Well. Yeah. All right. That's 2017?
Yes.
2018. So there was two matches. There was the men's match and the women's match. The men's match granted the winner a match for either the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship. Same thing with the women's contract. Gave them a contract for the Raw Women's Championship or the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't have the names here for... Oh, yeah, I do. So the men's match consisted of Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Miz, Rusev, Kofi Kingston, and Samoa Joe.
Yes.
Quite an eclectic group.
Not the Roman Reigns Joe from Samoa, but the actual Samoa Joe.
The actual Samoa Joe. This
yes.
is true. By the way, one of the most underrated theme songs, I think. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I like yours.
So good. Strowman would go on to win the ladder match and the contract. During the ladder match, Strowman threw Owens off the top of a ladder, and Owens crashed through a table on it was up on the stage, I think. The two would then feud, leading to a match at SummerSlam where Strowman defended his contract against Owens, with the stipulation being that if Strowman lost by any means, he would lose the contract. Strowman, however, retained the contract. He would then become the third person to announce their cash-in ahead of time. He first announced that he would cash in on the winner of the SummerSlam main event between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. But during that match, he was incapacitated by Lesnar and thus did not cash in. He then announced that he would cash in on Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell, in a Hell in a Cell match. The match, however, ended in a no contest. Contest? Sure. No contest after Lesnar appeared and laid out both men, rendering them unable to continue.
Oh,
And Strowman became the fourth person to fail in gaining a championship in their cash-in match, and the first to fail by a no contest ruling. God, this was stupid. So stupid.
Very stupid.
No contest in a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. like, how stupid is that?
Very.
And Mick Foley was a special guest referee. So he had to watch this no contest happen in a Hell in a Cell match. Get bent. That was so stupid.
Yeah. That's trash. That's bad.
It's got to be trash, right? A no contest ruling in a Hell in a Cell match. Are you like?
Yeah.
Really?
Trash.
It's got to be the second worst, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Brutal. Just brutal. For the women's match, it was Ember Moon. There's a name I haven't heard of in a while. What's she go by now?
Athena.
Athena. Cool name. I like that too. So Ember Moon, Alexa Bliss, Natalia, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky, Lana, and Naomi. Alexa Bliss would win the ladder match, and later that night she would cause a disqualification in the Raw Women's Championship match between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey, and then cashed in the contract and defeated Jax to win the title, becoming the third wrestler to cash in her contract on the same night as winning it. I'm pretty biased. I might have to give this one to you to grade because I'm very biased. I love Alexa Bliss. I just love her. I love the way she holds that belt, doing the old
Yeah.
That thing, everything about her.
Since I'm champion, right?
Oh no, here we go.
I can do something like it.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Except she's way sexier doing it.
Hey, that's fine. I can admit it.
Yeah.
But just for your remark, I'm going to put that in bad.
Oh no, no, don't do it.
I'll put it in great.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, it put Ronda Rousey in her place when she was dominant back then, and I mean, yeah, I thought it was great.
And at least she cashed in on Nia and won it on Nia instead of Ronda.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good call. But I mean, Nia was huge.
She still is huge.
She is still huge. Yeah, especially compared to Alexa. Alexa's tiny, man.
Yeah.
Where would you put this in great? I was going to say bottom of great.
Yeah, bottom of great.
Okay. All right. That's 2018, 2019. Once again, we had a one male ladder match and one female match. It says, unlike 2018, however, the contracts granted the winners a match for the world championship of their choice. Isn't that what they did in 2018? Yeah. Why does it say unlike 2018? Unlike 2018, the contracts granted the winners a match for the world championship of their choice. The men's contract granted the winner a match of either Raw's... Okay, I think that's a typo. I think it should say, just like 2018. I don't know why it says unlike 2018. Weird. All right. So, the men's match was Braun Strowman Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Mustafa Ali, Finn Balor, Andrade, and Randy Orton. It says Bobby Roode had the chance to replace Ricochet in the ladder match if he could defeat Ricochet, but was unsuccessful, while Sami Zayn, who was assisted by Corbin and McIntyre, defeated Strowman in a Falls Count Anywhere match to take Strowman's spot. However, during the event prior to the match, Zayn was attacked backstage and taken to a medical facility. A medical facility.
Local medical facility.
Oh, it's so stupid. Okay. Strowman was alleged as the attacker and was asked to leave the arena despite denying the claim. The match pursued without an announced replacement for Zayn. However, at the climax of the match, I remember this, Brock Lesnar made a surprise return as Zayn's unannounced replacement and won the contract. After teasing cashing in on Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston and failing an attempt to cash in on Rollins at Super Showdown. What a dumb name that was.
Yeah.
Lesnar successfully cashed in his contract to win the Universal Championship from Rollins at Extreme Rules in July. Right after Rollins and Becky Lynch had retained their respective titles against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans in a last chance winners take all Extreme Rules mixed tag team match. Wow, that's a mouthful. This made Lesnar the first wrestler to successfully cash in on the Universal Championship. So I do not remember him cashing in at all. I do remember his win, though.
I remember
winning because it was so stupid.
Because Ali was standing there with his hands.
He stood. I remember him talking about that on Chris Van Vliet's show. He was like, "Yeah, I just had to pretend that I couldn't get it off the hook," and it was like, Lesnar, hurry the fuck up, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so bad. Dude just walks in at the end of the match and just takes it. I'm like, okay. Talk about anticlimactic. And then do you remember him cashing in? I don't remember this last chance winners take all Extreme Rules match. I have no idea what that is.
I don't necessarily remember that, but I remember a little bit. I remember more so him carrying around the briefcase.
Yeah.
As a boombox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Not good when that's the highlight of your reign as Mr. Money in the Bank, though. I don't know. I don't think.
But
I don't know. I'm thinking.
But that's like the first time that we saw any kind of character, any kind of personality from Brock.
That's true. Yeah, the first time he came out of his shell.
Yeah.
After 20 years.
Yeah, after a long time. I mean, for that, I rate it at least good.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Even though it was a bad win and then a not memorable cash in?
I mean, I'm not going to put it out there on the internet that I said something bad about him because he'll come find me. So, yeah, I'll put it on good.
Hey, I'd be more worried about it. He lives in Canada.
That is true, yeah.
All right. Meet me at the top of meh.
All right. Top of meh.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Whatever. You said it, not me.
There we go. I was waiting for it.
You said Brock is meh.
Blame TJ. All
right.
right.
Blame TJ.
I don't think Brock is meh, but I do think his cash in was terrible. And his reign was okay because it was, you had some of the personality stuff, but his winning of it was stupid, and his cashing in of it I don't remember at all. I'd have to look it up. And then for the women's match, we had Natalya, Dana Brooke, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Ember Moon, and Carmella. However, on May 16th, it was revealed that Alexa Bliss was not medically cleared to compete and was replaced by Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bayley would go on and win the match, and later that night, she cashed in her contract on Charlotte, who had just defeated Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship and defeated Flair to win the title. This made her the fourth wrestler to cash in her contract on the same night as winning it.
Oh wow, that was a the women's thing to do.
Yeah, no women was just. Yeah, women weren't carrying that thing around. for whatever reason. They really didn't want to do that. Except Carmella. Carmella was the longest running Miss Money in the Bank. This is another one that's kind of just not very memorable. Like, I don't really remember this a whole lot. It's kind of a blur. The match is a blur, and her cashing out on Charlotte's a blur. It's, they did too many cash-ins on the same night. I think that's the problem. They've all kind of started to blur.
Yeah, they have.
They really need to make a big deal out of the cash-ins, and I just don't feel like this was a big deal. Bottom of meh?
Yeah, at least bottom of meh.
Or you thinking lower? I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it was.
I mean, she won, so it can't be too low.
Yeah.
Bottom meh was all right.
Bottom of meh?
Yeah.
We're into 2020, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means? Pandemic era.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with, because due to the pandemic, it was not held at its originally announced venue in Baltimore, and the majority of its matches were presented live from the Performance Center in Orlando, except for one match. Technically two that went on at the same time. The ladder matches were retooled to use a pre-recorded format with cinematic elements and were filmed within WWE's global headquarters, Titan Towers, in Stamford, Connecticut. The participants in each match began on the ground floor and fought their way to a ring on the roof, where the briefcases were suspended above the ring. Both the men's and women's Money in the Bank matches occurred at the exact same time. In quotes.
Yes.
Asterisks. At the same time. With the changes in format, the participants in each match were reduced from 8 to 6, but still evenly divided between Raw and SmackDown brands. For the women's match, we had Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Ruby Riott. I do not remember her being in this match. Really?
Keep reading.
Oh, wait. Oh, from defeating. Okay, so Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax, and then Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. The women's match began in the lobby of the building, while the men's match began in the gym. We'll talk about the men's match in a bit. Let's see. So the men and women eventually ran into each other during the cinematic event and had a food fight with, I think it was with Paul Heyman in the middle, right?
I think it was.
Yeah, Paul Heyman was getting food at the catering thing, and they all just kind of went, oh. And then it was Otis who was like, food fight.
No, Johnny Ace, John Laurinaitis.
Was it?
Yeah.
No. He was in the men's portion with Otis in the kitchen.
Okay.
And he came in on his wheelchair, I think, and was like, people power. And Otis pied him in the face or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then Paul Heyman was the one that was in the catering area with all the food, and the food fight happened, and I think he hid behind the desk or something, or the table or something like that.
Probably.
And who else someone else made a cameo in that? Doink. Doink made a cameo in that.
Did he? I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
he was behind the chair as the men and the women separated from the food fight and left. The shot kind of panned over to a chair, and Doink kind of went and you heard his theme song like.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was so bad, so funny though. Let's see who else cameoed in that. Stephanie McMahon, yeah,
and Vince.
Vince. Oh, the Vince thing was hilarious. Yeah, that was awesome.
Daniel and AJ were fighting in his
Fighting.
office.
Get out.
Yeah.
And then Daniel, they left, and then Daniel was like, "Wait, we gotta fix the chair. Gotta fix the chair." And then left.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Who else? Oh, Brother Love.
Bruce
He was in the
Pritchard.
washroom.
Yep.
Yeah. Who else was in there? I feel like we're missing somebody. I'm surprised it doesn't say in the article. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So Asuka won the women's match. And then the next night on Raw, Becky Lynch announced that she was going to be taking a hiatus from the company. A confused Asuka came out, and Lynch stated that Asuka was actually winning the Raw Women's Championship instead of a contract. Proceeded to open up the briefcase and revealed that the title belt was actually inside the briefcase. Lynch told Asuka that she was pregnant, hence the reason for her hiatus.
Yep.
And this, in turn, became the first time that the champion relinquished the title to the Money in the Bank winner without having a cash-in.
Actually, interesting little tidbit. I was actually listening to the audiobook of Becky's book today, and
cool.
She had found out before WrestleMania that she was pregnant. So she wrestled that WrestleMania match against Shayna Baszler when she was like 6 or 8 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she wanted Shayna to win, but Vince said, "Nope, you're winning."
I would have loved to see Shayna win.
Yeah.
That's a shame. And then on the men's side, Otis won.
But you got to add that King Corbin took out 2 competitors.
Literally.
He threw him off the building.
Yeah, he threw Ray off.
And
right?
Then, he threw Ray. Yeah, Ray went flying, and then who else?
I
Aleister
don't know
Black.
who the other one was. Oh yeah. He tossed them both off the edge of the freaking building. They somehow survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so dumb. I love that match though. It's so entertaining. I've watched it 3 or 4 times.
It was fun. I mean, they made a bunch of chicken salad out of chicken shit.
They really did.
It was fun.
That may have been the best cinematic match that they did during the pandemic, I think.
It's hard to beat AJ Undertaker.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. Okay, second best.
Yeah.
Second best. So after winning the men's contract, Otis teased cashing in on Braun Strowman, who was the Universal Champion at the time, but decided not to. And after entering into a feud with The Miz and John Morrison over a Money in the Bank contract in September, Otis was forced to defend the contract against The Miz in Hell in a Cell of 2020, where The Miz defeated Otis to win the Money in the Bank contract, and thus Otis became the second wrestler to lose his contract in a scheduled match without cashing it in. The Miz then used the contract to cash in on the WWE Championship at TLC. At the event, while Drew was defending the title against AJ Styles in a TLC match midway through, The Miz came out, cashed in the contract, converting the match into a triple threat TLC. But despite this, McIntyre retained. However, on the December 28th episode of Raw, the cash-in at TLC was ruled invalid due to Morrison cashing in on the contract on behalf of The Miz. As only the contract holder himself can cash it in, and thus the briefcase was returned to The Miz. And at Elimination Chamber that year, The Miz officially cashed in, defeating McIntyre, who had just retained the title in the Elimination Chamber, and then was attacked by Bobby Lashley to win the WWE Championship for a second time, with both times occurring via Money in the Bank cash-ins. Wow, that was a lot.
Yes.
That was complicated and crazy.
But for all of that, we don't consider that for our judge.
No, because he was not the winner.
He was not the winner. So
Otis is trash, right?
Yes, Otis was trash.
Yeah.
Which
I guess he's got to go right next to Kennedy, right?
Can't take away from the.
Does he have to go? He has to go next to Kennedy, right? Because Kennedy lost.
But Kennedy's bad.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, can we take away, or can we add a little bit back in for the match?
Yeah, because the match was great. Absolutely. What are you thinking?
I mean, how much do we want to add to it?
I mean, not a lot. He still won it and then lost it like an idiot, just like Kennedy.
So you wouldn't move it up to good? You wouldn't put it up there?
Oh God, hell no! Oh God, hell no! For Otis as a Money in the Bank winner
for the match.
Oh my God! We can't just base it on the match though.
But
he lost.
I mean, he was so over though, because that's when he was doing the whole thing with Mandy Rose.
So then why didn't they do anything with him?
I don't know.
Bad booking.
I don't know.
Like, why give it to the Miz? It was so weird.
Top of bad.
Okay. I think I can do that. Yeah, I could do that. What about Asuka though?
Good.
Yeah, I'd say bottom of good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take away from her for not being.
She won the match. She was
for not being able to cash in.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay. 2021. We're almost through this. Wow. But I don't have the list, so let's go with the men's. Do you have the men's up?
Yep.
For 2021.
2021. This is this was still this wasn't still
No, this was post
Thunderdome.
Post pandemic, yeah.
Said men's first?
Yeah.
We've got Seth Rollins.
Again.
Riddle.
Hey.
Trevor Ricochet. King Don't Call Me Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Kevin Owens.
Okay.
He can't be Johnny Money in the Bank because he didn't win, so we'll just call him John Morrison.
Ooh, yeah.
Drew McIntyre and Big E.
And Big E would go on to win the match, giving him a guaranteed match of his choice against either Raw's WWE Championship or SmackDown's Universal Championship. Big E would then announce via Twitter that he would cash in his contract on the September 13th episode of Raw, becoming the fourth person to announce their cash-in match ahead of time, and would proceed to do so on WWE Champion Bobby Lashley after Lashley had just retained the title against Orton, defeating Lashley to win the title. Big deal.
Very big deal.
No pun intended. No pun intended. Big deal. It's not a GOAT. Maybe amazing? Bottom of amazing?
Yeah, I could put the bottom of amazing. I could. Better than Kane?
It is better than Kane. I do agree it's better than Kane.
No, we put it bottom of amazing.
I like it.
All right.
I like it. Good old Big E. We miss you, buddy.
I mean, this next one won't be there, but
okay.
Well, what are you gonna do?
What's the women's match? I don't even know what this one is. What's this one?
Who's in this? Zelina Vega, Tamina, Natalia again.
Wow. Okay.
Naomi, Liv Morgan, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki ASH.
Oh, right. And Nikki ASH would go on to win the ladder match, guaranteeing her choice of championship. And then the next night on Raw, Nikki cashed in the contract and won the Raw Women's Championship from Charlotte Flair, who had just retained against Rhea Ripley. Oof. Yeah, not a great one.
No, not
a great one
at all.
And once again, a very short-lived women's Miss Money in the Bank. They really don't like giving these women a briefcase for a long period of time, do they?
No. It's usually one of the contracts. Did
Is
they
a
cash
short.
in real quick or night of, and then the other one they hold on for a few months at least?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Maybe they just don't like having two briefcases, but I mean, it's one women and one men. Who cares?
Right.
That's dumb. I want to see one year where both of them like wait and cash it in at Mania. That would be cool. I'd love to see that. Yeah, this one wasn't good.
No, this was not good. This was it.
Bottom of meh.
Yeah, I mean this whole thing was the gimmick too, because she had just. This was just within a couple weeks of the gimmick starting, and then they shot her straight to the title.
Yeah, and then that gimmick dropped within a year.
A year? This was just a few months, wasn't it?
It wasn't very long.
No.
I mean, I think it was longer than that because I remember she was at the Rumble that year, and Rhea threw her out, I think. So it was a good almost a year, something like that.
I wouldn't say it was a good almost a year.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good one, no. Yeah, I'd say bottom of meh.
Better than Otis?
I mean, he failed to cash in.
God, I guess. At least top of bad.
All right, I can do that.
All right.
Top of bad. We only got like 3 left, I think. 2022. What was the men's? 2022. Who was in the men's?
22. This was in Las Vegas. In the men's, we have Sheamus.
Okay.
Seth the freaking Rollins.
He's in like every freaking Money in the Bank match. This is so dumb.
Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Riddle again.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre again.
Okay.
Then we got 3 first-timers. Omos.
Hey. Ugh.
Madcap Moss.
Ugh.
Theory.
Ugh. Not 3 great names, that's for sure.
3 that we have not seen in that same match again.
And Theory won.
And Theory won.
Surprisingly. Actually, not really surprisingly at the time.
Because this was still when Vince
was the chosen one, part 2.
Yeah.
So Theory, after failed attempts to cash in against the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, as well as a tease of cashing in on the NXT Championship, Theory finally used the contract to challenge Seth Rollins for the United States Championship on November 7th episode of Raw, but failed to win the title due to an attack by Bobby Lashley, allowing Rollins to pin Theory and retain. This marked the first time the contract was used on a non-world championship. Wow, that was stupid. Trash. Right in the trash. You get an opportunity at the top title in the industry, and you go after the United States.
Yeah. I think this was
so
just
stupid.
I mean, this was kind of he was kind of hamstrung a little bit because this is when Roman had both belts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But for God's sakes, man, why even have a Money in the Bank match then that year? You know what I'm saying? Kind of dumb. I would have rather him see him go after the NXT title. He may have turned into something.
Right.
You know, I would say, is it above or below Braun?
Above.
The no contest Hell in a Cell.
Above.
And then the women's match. Who was in the women's?
Women's match was Shotzi.
Ooh.
Raquel.
Okay. Ugh.
Lacey Evans again.
Ugh.
Becky Lynch again.
Ugh.
Asuka again.
Hey.
Alexa Bliss again.
Hey.
Oh, there it goes. Liv Morgan.
Hey.
That's it? That's it.
Hmm.
Except for my little device over there that caught me saying Alexa.
Oh, yeah, you got to say Bliss.
Yes, Bliss.
I've been there. So yeah, Liv Morgan would go on to win the match, and later that night, once again, a woman not holding on to that briefcase cashed in on Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
After Rousey had retained it against Natalia, and Morgan won.
Oh. Meh.
Yeah, I mean it was decent, but it was before Liv became like star power.
Yeah.
So let's say just above Swagger.
Yeah,
maybe
just above Swagger.
All right, 2023 men's.
23 men's. You might see some repeat names.
Oh, here we go again.
Well, he lost his crown, so he's back to Shinsuke Nakamura. Ricochet again. L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Don't call me Pete.
Done.
Butch. And the one that Carlito blames for everything, Santos Escobar.
Santos Escobar.
And Damian Priest.
Did you say Logan Paul?
I did not say Logan Paul, but Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul was on there as well.
And Damian Priest. So Shinsuke, Santos, Ricochet, Logan, L.A., Butch, and Priest.
And Priest would go on to win the match. And of course, he cashed in against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 40.
After Drew cost it himself by taunting CM Punk.
You might fight me on this one, but I'm saying GOAT. I loved this.
No.
I loved him winning it because he earned it, and the cash in was epic. I mean, WrestleMania 40 was like, it was awesome. I'd say low GOAT.
No.
Can you beat me in amazing?
I'll meet you at amazing.
Okay.
I can meet you at top.
Let's say where can you go in amazing?
I can put on top.
Oh.
Yeah, I can put on top. Cashed in at WrestleMania, even though he didn't soften him up. It was because of Punk softened him up. Yeah,
the South of Heaven, and that was it.
Yeah,
but it was epic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm okay with that. And who was the women? 2023.
Zoe Blown Knee Stark.
Oh, too soon.
That's my gimmick.
Too soon.
Zelina Vega. Trish Stratus.
What? Really?
Yes. Becky Lynch. Bailey and Io Sky.
Wow. Okay. And Io Sky won, and she would go on to cash in her contract at SummerSlam, defeating Bianca for the women's championship right after Belair had just won the title, defeating Asuka and Charlotte in a triple threat match.
I like this one. She was over.
This was a pretty good one.
And it was someone
new
that had really kind of earned it after being on the roster for a while. Someone that people wanted to see that really benefited from having the briefcase.
It was definitely the best women's cash in, for sure. Best women's winner. I'd go as high as low amazing.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Is that higher than you would go?
I was thinking middle of great, but if you want to put it, we can put top of
Yeah.
great, bottom
Yeah,
of
let's
amazing.
do top of great.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do top of great. Bam! There she goes.
Bam, bam.
And then the 2024 Money in the Bank, which took place in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, that last one was in London. 23 was in London.
Yeah.
The first one that was
Yeah,
overseas.
I don't remember that pay per view at all. I got to go back and watch that because that was like 2023 was like one of the best years in wrestling history. Like that, they were on a roll.
I mean, that card was pretty stacked. That was well, they had the two. Oh, the championship match was, they had the men's match first. The second match was Liv and Raquel defeated Ronda and Shayna Baszler for the women's tag championships.
Eh,
Gunther defeated Riddle for
that was probably a
the
pretty good match.
Intercontinental title. 7 minutes, 45
Ooh.
seconds. Yeah.
A little short.
Cody defeated Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley.
Cool.
That was 8 minutes. So Cody and Dom got more time than Gunther and Matt Riddle. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
The women's match, or the women's Money in the Bank match, Seth defeated Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then the Bloodline Civil War tag team match, the Usos against Roman and Solo.
All right, that was the one where Roman got pinned for the first time in years.
Yep. When Jay
by
pinned him.
Jay.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty good show. All right, it's the last one, 2024. Who is in the men's?
24. You had L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Jay Uso.
Yeet.
The guy, I wish this guy would be in it this year. But he's wrestling Saturday afternoon, and that's Chad Gable. He's wrestling in the AAA in the Worlds Collide. Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and Drew McIntyre.
And of course, Drew McIntyre won. But yeah, he would go on to cash in his contract against Rollins, I think, right?
Turn it into a triple threat match. It wasn't even after the match; it was during the match.
During it, just like Seth did at Mania.
Yeah.
But McIntyre was pinned by Priest due to an attack by Punk.
Yep.
This marked the first time someone cashed in their contract on the person who had cashed in on them for the same title. Interesting. I remember being really. I think a lot of people for this one were. This was polarizing. This one was polarizing because I think a lot of people were like, "Wow, what a waste of a briefcase."
Yep.
But then on the other half, there was like they sacrificed the briefcase to make Punk and Drew that much more hot of a feud.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you put this. It's so polarizing. It's not. I mean,
it made sense for the story, for the Punk and Drew story.
It did. It just sucks that it was like it was a sacrifice. You know?
Well, like what we were talking about earlier, you have normally one that's cashed in the night of or real soon, and then the other one that's held on to for months.
True.
And it's
true.
Almost, and since they've had a men's and a women's, it had really never been the men's that was cashed in so quickly.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so where do we put this? I still can't believe Lesnar's that high. I hated that so much.
Wow.
Yeah, this is so hard because
He's in meh.
That's man, I hated it so much. I hated it.
Okay, buddy.
I like Lesnar. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, keep saying that.
Lesnar, you're out there. I like you, man. But that was stupid.
The views expressed do not represent the views of Colt Two Belts.
I don't know. Where are you thinking? Because I'm so conflicted. Because I remember feeling both ways at the time, where I'm like, man, that sucked. But it was also entertaining.
I like it. Bottom of good. There's a nice little spot there, left open.
All right,
Bottom of good.
I can do that. That's right in the middle. All right. And who was in the women's match?
Women's. Oh, Zoe Stark.
Oh, Zoe No Knees.
Zoe No Knee. Yeah. Naomi.
Okay.
Again.
All right.
Io Sky again.
Okay.
Lyra Valkyria.
Okay.
Chelsea Green. And your winner, Tiffany Stratton.
Okay. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, we had this match as one of our nominees for Women's Match of the Year, didn't we?
Was this the one that like? I think this was it, because when you said Lyra, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this being like a train wreck, but in a good way.
Yeah,
because it was so brutal.
Yeah.
What's funny about that though is I don't remember Tiffany Stratton being in any of those brutal spots. They really protected her.
They did.
Yeah, and then she didn't cash in until January on SmackDown after Nia Jax had just defeated Naomi to retain the Women's Championship. Stratton attacked her and Candice LeRae. Then, following Jax being hit with a kiss of death from Belair, Stratton cashed in her contract and defeated Jax to win the championship.
To a really big pop. Really big reaction. But it was a reaction for the cash in, or was it for her cashing it in?
Yeah, it's not as memorable, or like, I don't think they timed it right, to be honest with you. They teased it a lot, almost to the point where people got disinterested. They were very lucky, I think, when they pulled the trigger on it. It was riding the line of people going like, oh, for God's sake, just fucking cash it in already. We know she's gonna do it. You know, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, she doesn't have a pink belt yet. That's just it's unacceptable.
I know.
It's unacceptable. I mean, she doesn't have. What a fucking stupid ass move that is on their part.
You think
how many belts they would sell? Replicas.
I mean, I know, but it's like, I don't know. They should.
All you gotta do is turn the white strap to a pink strap, and there you go.
Or just get pink side plates.
Both.
At least
do both.
Pink side plates.
Just crazy. I guess this goes like just above Drew. I guess.
I was thinking either right above or right below Drew, but I'd say above because she won.
She won. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our undisputed ranking of the Money in the Bank winners. Our GOAT, Dolph Ziggler. Congratulations, Mr. Nemeth.
Yes.
Over in TNA.
You will have to keep this handy for next week. When we can add two more.
Two more winners, because this weekend.
Sort of. With asterisks.
Sort of? Asterisks?
unless
Oh yeah, because
there's
they
no
haven't.
captions.
Yeah, that's a good point. We might not be able to fully add them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll have to see. But we'll be talking all about that in a couple of days here when we do our Money in the Bank predictions for 2025. So look forward to that. But this is it. This is our good ranking. Damn. Yeah, the only one on here that I don't remember at all is that Sheamus one. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that to find out.
Yeah, that
what to
Sheamus
do.
one I don't remember too much.
Yeah, the shit. I don't remember at all. Okay, if you want to reach me on the socials, I am at TJ-Leo on the BlueSky.
I'm at Cole2K on BlueSky and the X, the Twitter.
The Twitter. Email us at co.opt.podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to join the Co-op Club Discord community server where me, Cole, Sim31, and so many others are there chatting about video games, wrestling, and more. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cole, do you have an outro for us this week?
Oh,
You don't. You didn't do it again.
I forgot.
I
forgot the outro. Yeah.
That's all right. Do the J one.
That's it for today's episode. Stay electric like Jay Uso.
Yeet.
Yeet.